Systems do the work. I'm Greg, the systems coach. We're going to talk to you about SharePoint Copilot in SharePoint. So here we have Copilot Chat inside of SharePoint. But what we have now today is something really cool. I'm just going to take you over to site contents where we have the agents and assets folder. And you'll see here we have this file called the SharePoint.MD file. Now what this is basically a Claude.MD file or a markdown file that explains to SharePoint what this site is, what each library does, maps out everything, and gives Copilot the full context of what's happening here. So every time you talk to Copilot in SharePoint, it looks at this file first, the same way Claude does to build out a Claude.MD file, basically creating your own agent inside of SharePoint, grounded in what you want. Then it's also got skills. We can give it a bunch of skills to do things inside of here, which is absolutely amazing. So everything you can basically do, you can turn your SharePoint into an agent with information. You can have its own business brain here. It's grounded in all your data on that site. It understands the full context of what's happening here for you and your teams. So it's really amazing. But first things first, how do we get it? First things first, you'll need to come over to the site information, go to all settings, the site collection features, and you'll just have to activate here. So there'll be an activate button where deactivate is, and you'll activate the agents and assets library. Once you do that, you can come back to the home, open up Copilot, and just tell it, I want to initiate this SharePoint site. The key word there is initiate. Once you do that, it's going to run a specific skill it already has to ground itself and build those SharePoint.MD files. So while Copilot works away there, I'm going to wait, and once it's done, I'll bring you back. Okay, we can see here we've got our draft of the SharePoint.MD. It's given us a couple of questions to answer there. So we're just going to Windows key and H. The purpose of this site should be narrowing down agent knowledge base. Its intended audience purposes are team and our agents in the agent builder. The ownership is the site owner and nobody else. So once you answer a couple of questions, you'll then go and update the draft. And then once it's finished updating the draft, we can just tell it to proceed with building the MD file. Okay, so it's gone ahead and saved that for us. If we come over to one of our document libraries and then go over to the agent and assets library, we can see we now have that SharePoint.MD file there, newly made, with the text file here, because that's all a markdown file is, and then a bit of a Word documentation view there. Depending on the size of your site, depending on what you've got in there, will depend on how big that file is. But this is where the magic happens. Now that we have a SharePoint.MD file, and we've gone ahead, for me in particular, we built these skills for building dashboards. We have our financial data here. So I can just come into Copilot. I can open the chat. I can ask it, can you build me the financial dashboard for February 2026? It's going to automatically pull up the SharePoint.MD file because that's what it's been asked to do. It's going to always pull up a branding guidelines file because I've told it in the SharePoint.MD file to always bring up the branding skill. And then it's going to find its monthly business dashboard skill and then build out this dashboard for us. Okay, we've got the finalized document here. You can see that it's built this financial dashboard. We have a quick link to it here, but we can also go over to the library. We see that it's been dropped into the library there. So if we open it up, clicking onto the document in the library, it'll then bring up our HTML dashboard. As you can see, nicely populated HTML dashboard so that we can then share that with our teams. We can make those interactive if we want to. This dashboard isn't that, but we can ask it to build the dashboard slightly differently and give it another skill to develop it however we want to portray this data. So again, I give it a very simple prompt, find February's data, build me the dashboard. The more time you put into it, the more you develop the skill, the better results you're going to get from there. But you can see how quickly and powerful this can get by just having this agent built on your information. So that is SharePoint.MD. That's how we can put skills into SharePoint as well to create our own SharePoint agent that works with that finance team or with that operations team or with that marketing team to develop assets, to do things. And soon, hopefully, we'll see a bit of a development where we can add some plugins directly to this SharePoint Copilot as well. I'm Greg, the systems coach. Cheers.